Story 1. A Tale of Courage and Confrontation. It was a quiet Saturday night, and the newlyweds found themselves craving excitement. Bored with the mundane, the guy proposed an unusual idea: to explore haunted places. The girl's eyes lit up with curiosity, and she suggested a visit to a notorious haunted hospital that had whispered its eerie tales for generations. With a mix of apprehension and excitement, they set out in their car, the engine's hum providing a comforting soundtrack against the unknown. The route they chose was a decrepit, overgrown road that seemed to lead nowhere but to the heart of their fears. It was the kind of road that disappeared into the horizon, its dark corners hiding secrets that only the bravest dared to uncover. Finally, the hospital emerged on the horizon, a sprawling, decrepit structure that seemed to have witnessed the passage of time itself. Its broken windows and crumbling walls cast long shadows that danced in the pale moonlight. The sight was both fascinating and chilling, a testament to the tales of horror that had woven themselves into the hospital's very fabric. They parked their car and looked at the imposing structure before them. The hospital stood like a forgotten sentinel, its past and its secrets calling out to them. Gathering their courage, they found a way onto the rooftop, the chill in the air sending shivers down their spines. Silently, they slipped inside through a shattered window, their footsteps echoing through the empty corridors. The air was heavy with an unsettling stillness, as if the hospital held its breath, waiting for intruders like them to disturb its slumber. They wandered through the hospital's labyrinthine passages, exploring the different rooms that once buzzed with life but now lay abandoned and desolate. Each room had its own story to tell: wards that had witnessed suffering, operating theaters that had seen life and death collide, and an ICU that had held onto the whispers of last breaths. As they delved deeper, the girl's unease grew palpable. She felt the weight of a presence, the lingering remnants of something that defied the realm of the living. But curiosity and fear were a volatile mix, and they continued their exploration, guided by an irresistible urge to unveil the hospital's mysteries. Then, as if ripped from reality, the girl vanished. Panic seized the guy's heart as he frantically searched room after room, his footsteps echoing through the eerie silence. In his desperate search, he stumbled upon scenes that defied comprehension, apparitions of people from another time, trapped in eternal anguish. Children with hollow eyes, women in tattered dresses, and nurses in uniforms that seemed to belong to another era. Haunted by their empty gazes, he attempted to conceal himself, eventually finding himself in a mortuary. But there, he could hear a voice that clawed at his sanity. The voice belonged to his wife, trapped in a dark chamber, held captive by two sinister specters that leered from the shadows. Frozen by a terror he had never known, he stood paralyzed, his mind racing for a solution. Just when despair seemed his only companion, salvation emerged in the form of two unexpected allies, paranormal investigators who had arrived to capture the hospital's secrets on film. Their equipment crackled with energy, their determination infectious. Armed with devices that seemed to pierce the veil between worlds, they confronted the malevolent spirits head-on. With their guidance, the guy found his voice again, his determination renewed by their presence. Together, they devised a plan to protect themselves against the vengeful entities that sought to claim them. The investigators' knowledge of the supernatural allowed them to create barriers against the spirit's malevolence, enabling the group to face the unknown with newfound courage. They ventured deeper into the hospital's darkness, their unity a beacon against the terrors that lurked within. As they navigated the haunted halls, they encountered the echoes of lives long past, each apparition a testament to the hospital's tragic history. The girl's voice guided them, leading them through the labyrinthine corridors to the chamber where she was held captive. With the investigators' guidance, they confronted the sinister specters, their defenses holding against the spirit's assaults. But as time passed, they realized there was no exit. The hospital seemed to have a mind of its own, trapping them within its malevolent grasp. Every door led to another hallway, every corridor twisted back on itself, refusing to release them from its clutches. As dawn approached, a pale light crept through the hospital's broken windows. With the sun's first rays, the hospital's grip weakened, releasing its captives at last. They emerged into the light, their faces etched with exhaustion and relief. The haunted hospital had tested their courage, pitted them against the unknown, and forever linked their fates with the paranormal investigators who had shared their journey. In the end, they walked away with a tale of survival, a testament to the power of unity and determination even in the face of the most malevolent of hauntings. Story 2. A Night of Terror and Survival. On a moonless night, 6 friends found themselves in search of adventure that would lead them to the edge of terror. The air was thick with excitement as 3 guys and 3 girls, their laughter ringing through the darkened streets, emerged from a lively night out. But their thirst for thrills remained unquenched, and as the night wore on, a sinister idea took root among them, an idea that would lead them to the abandoned halls of a haunted hospital. As they piled into their cars, the anticipation was palpable. The group had heard rumors of the old hospital, a place where the living dared not tread. Its imposing facade rose against the night sky, its windows like hollow eyes that gazed upon a world that had long forgotten its existence. The path to the hospital was lined with gnarled trees that seemed to reach out with skeletal fingers, whispering warnings that went unheard. With eager hearts and a touch of trepidation, they arrived at the hospital's decaying doorstep. Its dilapidated walls stood as silent sentinels, bearing witness to decades of forgotten pain and suffering. Cobwebs adorned the entrance, while the wind whispered secrets of the past that sent shivers down their spines. There, amidst the eerie silence, they made their choice, to cross the threshold into the unknown. They slipped through a cracked window, entering a world that time had abandoned. The air was heavy with the scent of dampness and decay, and their footsteps echoed through the corridors like a haunting melody. The hospital's interior was a labyrinth of forgotten memories, abandoned patient rooms, rusted medical equipment, and the faint traces of lives once lived. It was a place that seemed untouched by time, as though the past itself had become trapped within its walls. As they explored, the 3 guys and 3 girls held onto each other, their laughter mixed with nervousness. But soon, an eerie hush fell over them, their smiles fading as the atmosphere grew thick with a sense of unease. The girls clung to the guys, and the guys feigned bravery, masking their own apprehension. The hospital's cold touch seemed to seep into their bones, and their laughter gave way to an unsettling silence. They felt as though unseen eyes were watching them from the shadows, their presence lurking just beyond the periphery of their vision. It was a sensation that gnawed at their minds, stirring a fear that they couldn't quite put into words. Amidst the echoing corridors, they split into pairs, the guys and girls exploring different sections of the hospital. But as they ventured deeper, a sense of foreboding intensified. And then it happened, a spine-chilling scream tore through the stillness, sending a jolt of panic through the group. The guys raced towards the source, their heartbeats echoing in their ears. In a dimly lit room, they found one of the girls, her face a mask of terror. She pointed towards an operating table, and their hearts sank at the sight. Her boyfriend lay motionless, his life extinguished in an instant. Shock gave way to fear as she recounted a tale of darkness and malevolent forces that defied reason. Together, they scrambled to call for help, their phones yielding nothing but an eerie silence. Panic surged as chilling laughter echoed through the corridors, mingling with their mounting dread. They were trapped in a nightmarish game, pursued by an entity that defied explanation. Driven by desperation, they navigated the maze-like corridors, their fear-fueled flight leading them to the rooftop. The moon cast an ethereal glow upon their faces as they huddled together, their only defense against the malevolent force that sought to claim them. It was there, on the rooftop, that they confronted the ghostly apparition. The air grew frigid as its form materialized before them, its presence a sinister embodiment of their deepest fears. Their screams pierced the night as the entity advanced, its ethereal tendrils of darkness reaching out to ensnare them. But amidst the chaos and terror, their collective will to survive ignited a spark of defiance. With trembling hands, they aimed their phone flashlights at the entity, the beams of light a beacon of hope in the enveloping darkness. And then, as if responding to their determination, a distant siren pierced the night, a glimmer of salvation that shattered the malevolent grip that held them captive. The entity recoiled from the light, its form dissipating like mist in the wind. The group members clung to each other, their breaths ragged, as the approaching sirens grew louder. And as the first beams of dawn broke through the horizon, the darkness that had ensnared them began to recede. The police arrived, their presence a symbol of safety and rescue. As they took in the group's harrowing tale, the weight of the supernatural encounter was lifted, replaced by the reassurance that they were no longer alone in their fight against the unknown. And so, as the sun's rays banished the lingering shadows, the group emerged from the hospital's clutches, forever marked by an encounter that had tested the limits of their courage and solidarity.